Today we are looking at the Calculate Linux. So this is the latest version. So the ISO file is released on October 29th. So here you can see the boot menu. So in the options you should be getting like a F2 until like a F4 and also tab options. So let's first go with the F2. So here are the language selection, F3 for the video and F4 for other options. So I'm going to boot it in the live boot. So Calculate Linux is based on Gentoo Linux and the country of origin it's from Russia, so it's a Russian Linux distribution. And about the desktop environment, you get the KDE Plasma, Cinnamon, Mat, Xfce and other desktop environment which is Mat. So you should be getting like a 5 desktop environments. I'm going to show you all those information. So this is the October 29th ISO file. So it's the latest version. I'm going to show you the Linux kernel versions and all the other things like a new features and all those things. So right now I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with a 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So the booting process, I'm not going to trim or I'm not going to like speed it up. I'm just going to keep everything like a default. So you can see all the changes without any missing. So the booting process, usually the Linux distros will take like maybe 2 minutes. The stable releases or the stable ISO files will be booting very quickly. Sometimes some distros will take like maybe 2+ minutes or like 3 minutes. And if it's like a development version or a beta version, it's going to take way more than that, like 4 minutes or 5 minutes. So let's see how much of time it's going to consume. So usually it should take lesser time. But let's see what happens. So right now I downloaded the KDE Plasma desktop environment. You should be getting like other desktop environments. So if you have like a low-end PC, it's better to go with like a Xfce or other desktop environment instead of the KDE Plasma. You already know KDE Plasma will consume a bit more. So similar to GNOME also, but you don't get the GNOME desktop environment here. But I'm just saying the usual resource consuming things. So it's better to go with the Xfce or Mat desktop environment. There is also like a LXQt desktop environment. LXQt also will consume like a way lesser when compared to KDE Plasma. And also there is like a Cinnamon version also. So if you want to go with the Cinnamon, I think they're all getting the latest desktop environment versions. Let's see what versions we get for KDE Plasma, so we can judge it on the on our own. And also the user experience will be completely different when compared to the bare metal. So when you install it on the bare metal, it's going to be performing way better when compared to the virtual machines. In some cases, like a VMware sometimes has some issues, but in the virtual box you don't see any issues. But it's completely in my PC. I don't know how it performs on different PCs. So here is our desktop layout. So you should be getting the exact time because I didn't stop talking. And also I didn't trim or I didn't speed up. So you should be getting the booting process time by seeing the YouTube times in the, when you click on the YouTube, you should be getting the times there. So here is how the desktop layout looks. So let's first open the task manager to see how much of the resources are consuming, like a CPU and RAM. So in the beginning, it's kind of like maybe minor lags. So it kind of looks like a heavy. Just opening the applications. So here you can see because of the CPU, it's consuming like a 90% and RAM is almost like a 1 GB. And the desktop environment, KDE Plasma version, you get the latest KDE Plasma version. And also you should be getting the Cinnamon, Mat, Xfce and other desktop environment should be also the latest. So why it's kind of heavy? Because of the CPU. So that's the reason I said already before opening the system monitor. It kind of looks like a heavy thing. But if you want to try this distribution, it's better to go with other desktop environment instead of this one. But if you really love the KDE Plasma, it's up to you. You need to try it on your own and judge it on your own. So this is how it performing on my PC. So it's just like a few minutes or maybe a few seconds after the desktop layout is loaded. So we're going to go through all those things. And let's first change the display settings. Let me keep it on overview. Let me change the display settings. So my monitor is like a 1920 into 1080 with 60 Hz. So let's first change the display settings. Here is our display settings. Apply. It's going to take a few seconds. And let's close everything and let's go with the system monitor now. So hostname Calculate Linux, KDE Plasma version already mentioned. Qt version you get the 6.7.2. and the KDE frameworks version you get the 6.6. So about the applications, everything is in front of you. I didn't open any of the applications. I didn't even change this display settings as soon as it's booted up. So as you can see, the CPU graph is pretty much unstable. The graph is high, low. It's pretty much unstable even after running like a 60 seconds or a minute. And the process, you should be seeing all the process running right now. And also the user experience is kind of like a laggy and heavy also on running on the virtual machines. It's a VMware, so you can judge it on your own. And here is like a installer application and also the partition manager. So I wish I downloaded the other desktop environment, but okay, let's try to make video like that. So it's almost already like a 2 GB of RAM. It's just a few minutes and it's already like a 2 GB. So let's first go with the console. Let me first type in some commands and then we can go to the official website. I think there was some bug like when you open the like a Strawberry application, it's going to crash everything. So let's try that at the end. Usually the Strawberry application, whenever we open the application of Strawberry application, it's going to crash every time. Even in the previous videos, I already said like almost like I made like a lot of videos on the Calculate Linux previous, but every time the Strawberry is opened, it's going to have issues. So it's going to completely log you out and it's going to show you the login screen. So in the other desktop environments, you don't see any issues, but in the KDE Plasma, this will happen. I'm going to show you after a few minutes. So let's go with the version of the console first. Here is the version 24.08.1. So let's type in the neofetch. Hit enter, command not found, inxi -sv8. So this will grab complete distro information like audio, graphics, everything. So we're going to go through first these things, then we can go to the official website. And also I think you should be getting like a Chromium web browser. So it's I don't know why they give the Chromium browser. So if it was like a Firefox, it would be good. Whatever, let's go with the first information, system. So host, it says like a Calculate because we are running it on the live boot. And the kernel version, you get the 6.6. So the 6.6 kernel is the long-term kernel LTS version. So I'm going to show you everything in the official website, and also the Linux kernel things when we open the internet browser. So let's first continue with all those things and we can go through all the other things later. So it's a 64-bit compiler GCC version, you get the 13.3.1. And what else we have here? The desktop environment KDE Plasma version is right here. Qt not available. So here is the Qt version already. Frameworks version, you get the 6.6, which I already showed you in the beginning already. So the LightDM version 1.32.0. Distro, it says like a Calculate Linux desktop environment is KDE. So this is like a VMware information which is clearly unnecessary for the video. And 8 GB of RAM, which I already mentioned. Available RAM is 7.7 GB. Used is 2.1 GB. As you can see, it's matching. And this is like a CPU, which I already mentioned. I'm using a Intel i5 1240p CPU. And what else we have? The topology, the vulnerabilities, which is clearly unnecessary for the video. So let's continue with the graphics. So the VMWGFX version you get is a 2.20. And what else we have here? The display is X11. Sorry, I'm sitting far away from the monitor. So usually I make video like that. So it's pretty much smaller font. So that's the reason. So the server Xorg version you get is a 21.1.13. If I miss anything, you just need to pause the video and read everything. You can do that on your own. So with the Xfce version 24.1.2. And here is my monitor resolution. And here is the available monitor resolutions. And EGL is like a 1.5. OpenGL version is 4.5. Mesa version you get the 24.1.7. Here is like a GLX version is 1.4. LLVM pipe version is right here. And what else we have? Let's go with the audio now. Here is the ELSA. And the pipewire version is 1.2.5. I think that's it in the audio. So here is like a network and drives, partitions, Bluetooth. I didn't turn on the Bluetooth, so you should be seeing nothing there. and here is lib process repos, which is clearly unnecessary for the video. And process running right now is 293. Uptime is almost 6 minutes. And what else we have? OpenRC version is 0.54.2. Shell bash version is 5.2.37. INXI version is 3.3.36. GCC version is right here. Sysvinit version 3.09. So here is all the other information. If anything is important, you can just pause the video and read everything. So let me type in like a cat /etc/issue. You should be getting the Calculate Linux desktop as the information. So we got all the information right here. Let's close everything. Let's see what pre-installed applications you get with this Calculate Linux. So this is a Russian Linux distribution, but you should be getting the English language. So that's a good thing here. So mathematics, science, in the graphics, you just get the GIMP, FontForge. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a font editor. So the LibreOffice, Ockler, you basically get some KDE Plasma desktop environment and others from the Calculate Linux. You get the Chromium web browser. Let's check the Chromium web browser later. So here is other applications. Office Suite, you should be getting a bunch of applications here. Settings, here is like a Calculate setting, and also you should be getting the updater here, and also the console and the system. You should be getting some basic things. Utilities, again same thing. So it's not filled with the bloatware applications or anything like that. You don't get any bunch of random applications. You just get some basic things. Most of them are from the KDE Plasma desktop environment itself. So I don't think anything is unnecessary in this distro. So CPU went up to like a 90%. So we are opening the Chromium web browser now. So that's the only browser we have. But to my surprise, it opened instantly. Usually the Chromium browsers will take a lot of time in the Linux distributions, but I don't know what happened here. We got the Chromium web browser most faster than the better than the Firefox, I guess. I don't know why. Usually the Chromium browsers will take a lot of time when compared to the Firefox, but nowadays it's in the specific distro. So the Chromium browser you get is 129.0. So here is like a build ID and all the information. So I'm going to open like all the websites first, and I'm going to continue with the talk. So we opened every important tabs. So here you should be seeing all the important websites. So this is the official website. So right now there is no release note or anything in the official website itself. So with the kernel, let's first go with the kernel information. So you get the 6.6 kernel in this Calculate Linux. Let me first show you. uname-a, you should be seeing the kernel 6.6 here, or else you can just type in like a uname-r like this, and here is the kernel, which is 6.6. So the 6.6 is the long-term version, which I already mentioned. So here you should be seeing 6.6, the long-term. If you don't know what's long-term stable mainline, so you just need to click on the releases, and here is all the description of whatever the kernel is called. So the long-term versions are right here. So if it's RC, then it's a release candidate. Here is the mainline, here is the stable version. So the 6.6 was released on like a 2023-10-29, and projected end of life will be December 2026. So you have like a 2 years of support, and uname-r is to get the kernel information. So here is the kernel information. Let me close everything, and let's go with the first official website. So you just need to type in like a Calculate Linux in the search engine, and you should be getting the first link as the official website, or else you can use the URL to get to directly to the official website. So here is some languages for the website, like English, France, Russian, I guess. So here is all the information. So in order to get the desktop, you just need to click on the desktop. For server, you can click on server, cloud, testing. So if you're a normal user, it's better to go with the stable desktop version. And if you're like a Linux tester, you can go with the testing. And about the documentation, when you go with the documentation, you don't get any of the information about the releases. So here is all the information. Let's click on the Calculate Linux. So you don't get any like information about that specific information, but you just get the information about the Calculate Linux. You don't get other things here. So about the desktop, so if you're new for the Calculate Linux, here is all the information about the Calculate Linux. So it's based on Gentoo and still backward compatible with it. So here is complete information. It's better to pause the video and read everything. So Calculate Linux is a rolling release distribution. You can install the system once and update it throughout the life of your hardware. So here is all the information, and here is some features. And if you want to download the ISO file, you just need to go with the desktop. And the desktop environment, you should be getting the KDE Plasma, Cinnamon, LXQt, Mat, Xfce, which I already mentioned everything in the beginning. About the file sizes, here you should be getting all the file size, like a 3.5 for the KDE, 3.1 for the Cinnamon, and 3.2 for the LXQt, Mat for 3.2, and also Xfce you should be getting 3.1. So if you have like a low-end PC, always go with the LXQt, Xfce, and Mat or Cinnamon. And last, you should be going with the KDE edition. But if you have like a good end PC, you can go with the KDE. Or else if you love the KDE, you can go with the KDE. So always whenever you download the ISO file, check the ISO file date and you should be good. Here is like a signatures and all those links, like a package list and everything. So if you want the Calculate Linux Scratch, go with the Scratch edition. And if you want the other edition, go with the Scientific Xfce edition. And let's go with the ISO file download. So I'm using KDE Plasma right now. So I'm just going to click on the KDE Plasma's ISO file. So here you get the CLD, which is Calculate Linux Desktop 2024-10-22. So it's not the latest version. So it's like a 2024-10-22. So when you click on the ISO file, let me first show you. Let's copy the link. Let's paste it here. So you just need to remove the all those date and click on the until like a release. So if you type the release, you should be getting the dates and all those things here. So the latest is like a 1029. So the ISO files available in the official website is 22. So this is the ISO file I downloaded. So here are all the ISO files. So the first is like here is like a ISO file. So you can download, you already know how to do that. So just close it. So here are the desktop environments. About the system requirements, you just need to type in like a Calculate Linux, and in front you just need to type in like a system requirements. Whatever the Linux distro it is, just type the Linux distro and type the system requirements. You don't need to ask anyone for the system requirements. You can just search it like that. When you click on the hardware requirements, you should be getting all those things. So usually most of the official websites going to provide the system requirements, but sometimes there are other websites also going to provide. If you use the Google search engine, then you should be getting all the system requirements in the top of the link, or else you can choose DuckDuckGo and you should be going to the official website. It's clearly up to you. And about the requirements, here is all the requirements for whatever the desktop environment you have. So the RAM, it says like a 1 GB RAM for the KDE, and disk space is like a 8 GB. Swap usually not less than the RAM size. So right now it's consuming like a 2.6 GB, and also you should be remembering that I'm running it on the VMware. So when you run or when you install it on the bare metal, it's going to be lesser. So that's the difference. And about the system requirements, here is all the complete information, but for the specific desktop environments. So here you should be getting all those things. So when you go with the Xfce, it's like a 512 MB for Mat, 512 MB, LXQt 512 MB, and for the Cinnamon it's 1 GB. So it's better to go with this type of desktop environments if you have like a low-end PC. So we got all the information from the official website itself. So let's close everything. And about the installer, just double click on the installer. So obviously the application or the installer application will be on the desktop. So it's always a good option to try it first in the live boot. If you're satisfied, then go with the installation. So again, if you're trying to install this Linux distribution, which is Calculate Linux distribution, so it's from the Russia. So if you want some information, it's better to do all the research. If you have any privacy issues, always do your research. So if you're satisfied, then go with the installations, or else just skip these distributions. There are a lot of distributions available in the Linux market. So if you feel safe, then go with the installation, or else if you have any doubt, just skip these distributions and go with another distributions. You don't need to take a stress about any type of distributions here, because we got a bunch of distributions on the Linux market. So if you want any distribution, just use the AI tool like a ChatGPT or anything, or else you can watch some other YouTube channels or my YouTube channel. So you should be getting all the information about the distribution. Here is like a distribution. So same thing, installation, nothing is changed. And here you should be getting the desktop environment. We downloaded the KDE Plasma, so you should be getting the KDE. And when you click for the advanced settings, you should be seeing other things. So the installer is taking a bit of time here. And here is like a filter by distribution. So you can choose other desktop environments here, and filter by processor architecture. So here is like all the information, and installation type. Here is the installation type. Here is the layout and the network settings. Here is all the network settings, and user creation. Here is like a user creation. Here is the audio information. So here is the audio video update and start installing. So I already made a lot of installation video of the Calculate Linux. I don't want to make another video and make a video lengthy. So that's the same common thing there. So there is nothing complicated in the installation. There is completely everything in front of you. So if you want a installation tutorial, there will be already some documentation in the official website of Calculate Linux, or else you can watch my previous videos. So you don't get any bloatware also. So I think we got all the information. So there is no release notes right now, but I'm going to provide whatever available in the description. So I'm going to do a stress test right now by opening a few applications. So I'm going to open like a 4 or 5 applications to see how much the resources of CPU and RAM will go up. So let me open a bunch of applications like a LibreOffice and all those things. So if you are trying to install, I already mentioned everything. Do your research. Then if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. And these are all the applications I'm going to open. So I think we opened like a 4 applications. So let me open other thing like let's go with the system monitor and see how much resources it's going to consume. So it's consuming like a 2.8 GB of RAM, and CPU is pretty much unstable. So let's make it bigger. And in the applications, it says not unsupported on your system. On the history, you should be getting, you should be seeing the CPU pretty much unstable. So this thing happens when all the applications are opened at the single time. So that's the reason. So if you give any time, then the graph will be a bit lesser. But after all the applications opened, you should be seeing the graph going down. But in this case, from the beginning of the video, it's almost like unstable because I don't know why. So the desktop environment, the other desktop environment shouldn't have these issues. So that's the reason. So if you want to choose other desktop environment, you can choose that. So about the process, here is all the process, and about the overview. So this is how it's consuming the resources. So let's try to switch the applications. Let's try to switch everything here. So I don't see any lag or anything. And also you need to remember that I have like a more than recommended requirements. So everything should be running fine. And if you have like a recommended requirements, try it on your own. And if you're satisfied, then go with the installations. So everything is working fine. I didn't see any lag or any crash, but there is only issue with the CPU, and there is like a minor hiccups here and there. So user experience is this. This is my user experience. Other than that, I don't see any crashes or anything. Everything is working fine. So let's check the about application, and we're going to I'm going to show you the logout screen, and I'm going to end the video. So here is the GIMP. So if you don't have any release notes available, then it will be a bit of problem because we don't know what are the changes. Only if you are using the older version of Calculate Linux, you should be getting all the information. But we don't have any release notes or anything. So that's the reason I showed most of the important things which usually a normal user will see, like audio, graphics, and all those things. I already showed you in the beginning of in the terminal or the console. So I already showed you the Chromium browser also. Let's check the LibreOffice version. So you get the latest applications also. So that's a good thing here. And also you get the long-term support Linux kernel. That's also a good thing here. And about the system settings, everything is KDE Plasma here. So you should be seeing same wallpapers and all those things. But in this case, you don't get any new wallpapers or anything. You just get some basic things. About the system settings, let me show you the system settings, and we're going to end the video because there is literally nothing other than some basic things. So I'm going to show you the other thing, which is like a calculate Linux tools, which you should be seeing right here, like a calculate console, and also there is like a updater. Let's see what it is, and we're going to end the video. Let's go with the settings. Let's go with the calculate Linux update. So here is like a calculate console and the basic settings of a KDE Plasma. Nothing new here, same things. And here is the update systems. Let's close this thing. So here is the console. So here are all the like a backup, restore, break the build, change the build profile. Here is like a client configuration. Here is the system. So you can go through all those things and do it on your own. Here is all those things like available options: flash install, system install, so user logout, video, update check. So you get a bunch of important things. So everything is right here. So you just need to mess around and you should be get all the information. So if you don't know what you're doing, then it's better to watch some older tutorials and you should be getting all the information there. So here is like a update system. So you just need to go through all those things and you should be getting all the information. So here are all the options. If you want to tick it, you can tick it. So you got all the information here. And update repository you can change to like a GitHub, or you can change to directly with the calculate. Here is like a package mirrors. You can change the mirrors according to your wish. And use only stable updates. If you want to uncheck it, you can uncheck it. So here is everything which you can customize on your own, and you can just click on the run. So close update the system. Yes, I'm going to close it. So that was the video of the calculate Linux. Now I'm going to do the Strawberry application opening thing. So when we open the applications, you should be seeing some issues. So I already said, so it's still not fixed on the live boot, I guess. So you should be kicked out, or you should be logged out with the login screen or the logout screen here. When you click on the login, the password should be guessed, I guess. So here is the available settings. So like a Plasma X11. Right now I'm using the Xwayland. It's a Wayland, sorry. Here is like X session. So let's choose the X11. Here is like a date and time. So let me type in the guest. So I already said that whenever you open the Strawberry application, it's going to log out the complete distro, and it's going to give you the login screen, and then you just need to log in using the guest password. So the password is GUEST, which is guest, same as the username. And here you should be seeing the desktop again. So I'm going to open the Strawberry. Then again, you should be seeing the same thing. So this happens every time when you use the KDE Plasma desktop environment. I don't know about other desktop environment. I already made like other desktop environment videos, but I really don't remember. But this thing I always remembered. So that's the reason I opened it again. But still you should be seeing the same issue. So this is how it performed in my PC. So this is the calculate Linux October 29th ISO file. So I think I'm going to end the video here. So there is like a Fedora 41 stable release available right now. So I'm not going to do that video right now because it's already too late today. So I'm going to make that video tomorrow. So if you want to see that video, you can see that video. So you should be seeing some there will be some like a 4 or 5 hours difference of the Fedora 41, because I need to sleep for a few hours and then we can make a video on it. So usually I'll be posting like 2 videos daily. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. So past from 15-10 days, there is no like a new Linux distros available. Right now there is like a calculate Linux and Fedora. So that's the reason from past 10 to 15 days there is no 2 uploads in the channel. So that's the reason. So whenever the ISO files or the new Linux distros are available, I'm going to continue the 2 videos daily without missing any day. I've been doing like almost like a 6-7 years. So usually when there is no topic, then there will be a gap between a day or maybe just a single video in the day. So that's the reason. So I think that's the video. If you liked the video, then give a thumbs up button. It will help the channel also. Thanks for watching. Peace out.